am on my way today, this evening. This is actually one of the latest drops I've ever had for Azure, but it's 6 o'clock in the evening on Sunday, April 12th. So I'm on my way right now. Beautiful country drive I have between my house and getting to my drop place. It's about 35-40 minute drive, but it's no red lights, no stop signs, and I don't mind doing it. It's actually a little respite, I guess, once a month when I come to these Azure drops. Richard generally doesn't want to come, so I go by myself, pick up, and get right back home. But it gives me a little bit of a time to just drive by myself and get out in the country and go have a good time. I always look forward to these drops. I really do. Everybody's very nice and kind, and I love getting home with all my stuff and unboxing it and putting it in the jars or 5-gallon buckets or whatever I ordered. This month's order is the biggest one I've ever done. It's about 38 items, I think, but the amount I guess I spent is the most I've ever spent on anything. But I feel like I had a goal. I've just been watching what's going on in the world and kind of thinking, I don't want to wait until prices explode on some things or until everybody's out trying to get this or that. During COVID, Azure ran out of a lot of things because they just weren't prepared for the deluge of people that were all of a sudden going to be staying home and not wanting to go to stores and what have you. And people started ordering and joining Azure pickups and stuff like that. And maybe things like that. I do know on YouTube and all, there's a lot of Azure videos just like this that I'm doing right now. And a lot of people are starting to really educate themselves about what all is at the grocery store that's not the greatest for us. Just all of that, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of things that we all used to be kind of blind to, but now people are very much catching on to. So as that happens, like our Azure drop has grown a little bit since I started. I've been doing this for 2 years now, maybe a little over 2 years. And we have a pretty big group. I don't really film while I'm there because I don't want to, jeopardize anybody's privacy or put license plates on there on accident or anything like that. So I don't really film while I'm there. I feel like that's private time. But it has grown, and I see a lot of people making pretty big orders. I'm probably one of the smaller orders each month, but a lot of people really bulk up on things while they're there. This month, I'm kind of bulking up. I'm buying a lot of rice and 25 pounds at a time of rice and more sugar, more flour, a lot of the basic things that you would bake with. I just want to make sure things I used to buy, like say in 4-ounce packets, I'm now buying them by the pound. And when you're talking about certain spices and things like that, a pound of it is a good amount. But I'm seeing that I'm using a lot of this stuff. I'm seeing that my body, though I'm not really like losing tons of weight or anything, but my body is getting very used to eating better. I'm getting to where now other things just don't taste right. They don't taste good to me anymore after eating a lot of good food, and my body just doesn't want that crap anymore. I don't crave it. I don't really want it. I want decent food. And so I'm excited to do Azure. I love ordering from them and being a customer of theirs. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. When you come home with an Azure order, it's kind of just the beginning of a bunch of work. I enjoy doing it, I do, but this particular drop happened right during supper time. So when I'm getting home, I'm not only trying to set up things so I can film and dealing with a whole bar full of all kind of items, but I'm also in the middle of trying to get Richard fed, cook some supper. I've got my own dishes and things going from earlier that I'm going to be adding dishes to my sink after we eat. I've got to wash all of these 3-gallon and 2-gallon buckets and lids that I bought because I want them to air dry really well overnight before I actually put anything in them. And then I decided to reorganize a lot of the spices and mixes I've been buying the last few months and my grains and stuff. So I've got that project going. So it's a big old conglomeration of stuff going on right now. And I had to even put Richard's tray that he eats off of onto the top of my bar on the top of the bags because I don't have any more counter space right now. So it's a process that's going to take me tonight and part of the day tomorrow, but I absolutely love doing it. My first item is a bag of whole milk powder. I got a 26-ounce bag. It's organic. I buy this because we don't buy milk all the time when we go to the grocery store. We're just not milk drinkers and we don't eat cereal. So I buy milk every now and then because I do like to have some around sometimes. But mostly we use the milk powder to mix up milk when I need it to cook with for breads, for cornbread, things like that. And so it's very economical to me to buy this, and knowing it's organic and all is very good. This was $16.45, and that was for a 26-ounce bag. They do offer other sizes. The EcoDent tooth powder that I have showing here is a repeat order. I have ordered this 3 or 4 times because I really, really like it. I feel like it keeps my teeth really clean and I don't feel any kind of buildup on my teeth after starting to use this tooth powder. It's basically kind of a baking soda type thing. You can get it in different flavors, but it's got some organic things in it, some essential oils and everything, and I really do enjoy it. It's $6.29 each, and it's 2 ounces. It's not dirt cheap or anything, but I find that it lasts just as long as a tube of toothpaste does. So to me, it's worth it though, because I do feel like it's 100% better than any toothpaste I was buying at the store. I love this Annie's macaroni and cheese. It's the shells with real aged cheddar. I just love this. My grandkids do too, and that's really important because when they come over, this is something I can cook as a side dish to whatever we're eating, and they like it. And it's healthy, it's good for you, and I feel it's a lot better than the regular mac and cheese that we've just always eaten. This is a little bit just more rich flavor. It's very, very good. I bought the 3-pack of 6-ounce boxes, and it was $13.37. You can buy 12 boxes at a time or just each. It's not as cheap as buying the Kraft or other store brands and all, but I do feel like it's worth it health-wise. I don't feel guilty when I make this as a side dish to whatever we're eating. It's very, very good, and mainly the most important thing is it tastes good. I have pretty much eliminated statins out of my husband's life. When you have a stroke like he did, they immediately put you on several other things and statins. It's just protocol. Every doctor wants him on it. Every doctor kind of wants to just make that a perpetual life thing that he's on. I'm learning a lot about statins, though. I'm not a doctor. Don't take this as advice. I'm just saying for him, for his situation, I don't really want him on statins. So I've by diet and the way I'm cooking, and by supplementing his diet with omega-3 fish oil tablets, I am trying to kind of lessen the need for statins in our life. And I do like these from Nordic, and they're from Azure, but they're called Nordic Naturals. They're 3906. It's 180 tablets in there. I believe their recommendation might be 3 a day, but he takes 2 a day. And that puts him at the same amount he was kind of taking of the cholesterol medicine. So that's what we're doing. And this has become a recurring order thing too from Azure. I tried them with him. He didn't seem to have near the soreness that he had with the other statins, and I feel like they are helping him a lot, especially cognitively. So we're going to keep trying this. I'm going to do this for at least a year with our diet and with these omega-3 fish oil and try to see if we can just eliminate him off of statins. It was time to order another 25-pound bag of their organic cane sugar, so I put that on my list. That was $38.33. And for the first time, I'm trying some different rices. I got 25 pounds of organic basmati white rice. It was $45.94. I'm trying to lay in a lot of groundwork of basic items that I could use to make unlimited amount of dishes is for different flavors and things like that. So I wanted to lay in a good supply of rice on this order to go with things I already have, plus some others that I'm going to be telling you about in a minute, to give me a good groundwork of things that I can use to cook from. My 2 pounds of active dry yeast are holding out pretty good. I went ahead and ordered another pound though, put it in a different container, put it in my freezer. I just want to make sure I have everything I need for baking at all times. So I laid in another supply of that. It was $7.31 for 1 pound. I also laid in another supply of the cinnamon that they offer. I went ahead and got a pound this time. I think I got 4 ounces last time. I love their cinnamon. And I've made cinnamon rolls here recently and all, and the cinnamon just tastes so good with it. It was $9.47 for a whole pound, and I will tell you that filled up a quart jar. I had to put some more in a pint jar. It filled up that, and I had to roll it into a third little half pint jar. So that's a lot of cinnamon for $9.47. It was worth it to me. If you knew how old my cornstarch was in my refrigerator, you would probably die. I don't even know how old it is. I've just had it forever. I think it survived between moving from one house to the next. The same old cornstarch came with me. So I just went ahead and invested in 1 pound from Azure organic cornstarch. It was $10.17. And I don't normally order very many snacky things from Azure. I just feel like I'd rather make something at home than order a lot of snack foods. But I did get a 40-ounce bag of the yellow popcorn this time, organic popcorn. And read the reviews, if you will, because I thought the reviews were really good. They say it expands, it gets really big and soft when it pops, and that it's delicious popcorn. So I just want to try it. We're going to try it. It was only $5.59 for 40 ounces, which I thought was a pretty good deal. Every few times I order from Azure, I'll go ahead and add 3 more 6-ounce cans of tomato paste to my order. I don't use it a ton. I haven't really invested in a whole dozen cans right now. I just use it every now and then, but I do like to have it if I need it. It was $4.94 for the 3 cans. To that end, I went ahead and invested in 1 pound of their spaghetti seasoning. It smelled really good when I was putting it in my jars, and I'm going to actually try it tonight. I'm going to make some Italian sausage type spaghetti and, see how it all tastes. But it was $18.19 for 1 pound. However, it filled up just about all the way 2 quart jars. So that's a lot of spaghetti seasoning. And you just use a couple of tablespoons, I think, maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons with each recipe that you're making. So that should go a long, long way. So anyway, that's just one item that I decided to try this time. I have a lot of other things on the list too. But another thing I added was, in relation to that basmati rice a while ago, is I did get a 25-pound bag of the Thai jasmine rice. So you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm laying in lots of seasoning things, but also bulk items that I can use to create all kind of different dinners for us. The 25-pound bag of Thai jasmine rice cost $39.48. I'm following my Azure invoice as I say all this, so it might jump around a little bit. But I added some organic paprika powder, and it's the smoked paprika powder. I have bought that in the past just at the store, and I do like the smoked paprika to use like in rubs for meats, for ribs, things like that. And so I went ahead and invested in a pound of this for $9.90. I think it's going to be a good investment. I'll use it a lot. Another thing that I did order before that I've ordered again is a case of the cream of chicken soup. It's by Pacific Foods. It's 12 10.5-ounce cans, and it's $37.61. Trying to eliminate so much of what I buy at the store. That's one of the goals I'm going to talk about at the end for Azure. but I'm trying to eliminate a lot of the things I do buy at the store. And one of those things I was buying a lot of were cream of soups. So I'm replacing that with this and rolling it in, and it's working fine in every recipe I do. So it's just going to be one of those standard things that I do keep reordering. I put a 1 pound bag of caraway seeds on my order this time. It was $6.80. I did that specifically because I have laid in a little supply of the rye grain to use in my grain mill to help with making rye bread and all. And I've tried it without the caraway seeds and it came out okay. But I think the caraway seeds are just going to really kind of put the rye bread over the top. I think with making it without the seeds to me was just not really tasteful. So I think I want to have these in there and make sure I use them in my recipe. You can even sprinkle them over the top of the bread too to give a little extra flavor to it. So to make it more authentic, I wanted to lay in a supply of these seeds. I also got a 3 pound glass jar of their honey, and it's called the raw berry wildflower honey. I have seen a lot of people review this, and to the person, I've always had them say good things about it. So I just decided to try it. It's 3 pounds for $10.97, which is to me a very, very good price for honey. And the reviews, like I said, were great. So I just added that to my list this time. We'll see. But I think it'll come out good, especially when you're making things like granola bars and everything, homemade granola. To my little stockpile of seasoning mixes, I went ahead and got 4 ounces of the Southwest pasta blend. I didn't get a full pound of this one. I've been trying to get full pounds, but I didn't of this one because it was a little bit pricey. This was $8.26 just for the 4 ounces. So I thought, let me try it first and just make sure that I like it, that it's worth it before I invest in that full pound. So we'll see. The reviews were wonderful, but we'll have to see. Every now and then I lay in a good supply of their boneless thighs from Azure, specifically from Mary's Chicken, which is one of the brands they carry. But this time I went ahead and got a supply of the whole leg quarters. Now you'll see on here the pound weights. Like this one weighs 1.86 pounds. That's what you kind of have to, when you're ordering the chicken, you do have to kind of be flexible because they price it on their website as if you're getting 1 pound to each pack because they don't know until the end when it gets all boxed up exactly what each pack will weigh. So it was quoted at like $70 something, $76 for 12 packs of this. It actually ended up costing me $117.91 because a lot of these packs weigh more than a pound. That one weighed almost 2 pounds. So you have to be flexible about that. My sister has a list that says that these products are slowly disappearing from store shelves. And one of the items on the list was coconut cream. Now, I don't know if Azure's ever going to disappear it, but off the regular store shelves, it seems to be kind of disappearing. That's just what this article that she has said, and it gave a list of all kind of different items that are slowly kind of disappearing off of store shelves. So I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and get 3 cans of this coconut cream. I really don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. Please give me ideas if you have it. I keep thinking of Gilligan coconut cream pies, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It was only $5.77 for these 3 hefty cans of it, 13 and a half ounces each. And so I felt like it was a good little investment, and I might just come up with some good recipes to use with it, and who knows? But that's kind of why I put this on my list, just because it was on her list, and I was kind of curious about why those items might be disappearing. If you know anything about this, let me know. My preferred way to store the grains that I buy, the cane sugar or the flours and things that I buy, is in the 5-gallon buckets. So I've always ordered those with the gamma lids. The gamma lids are just so easy to spin and get off. And this time I actually added 3 of the 2-gallon buckets with the 2-gallon gamma lids. And I'm already glad I did that. I can't believe I've waited so long to order the smaller buckets to put some other things in, but I did. So this time, now I don't have this added together. The gamma lids for the 5-gallon buckets were $27.26. That was for 3. The buckets themselves were $20.82 for 3. And the 2-gallon lids were $17.06 for 3 and $17 for 3 of the 2-gallon buckets. Whatever that averages out each, that was the price. I put in a little supply of 4 ounces of the fennel seeds. I love anything with fennel seeds in them, but I don't tend to make my own meats or sausages with the fennel seeds, that flavoring. So I might just try it and see what I think. These were only $5.51 for a 4 ounce pack. So that to me was a cheap way to get started and see if I like making sausages or meats with that. I wanted to try Azure's egg noodles just to see. This was a 2.5 pound bag. It was 15.09, and that can seem pretty pricey compared to what you can get noodles and all for at the store. But I wanted to try these. The ingredients are minimal, and they're homemade, and the reviews were wonderful. And I actually already cooked with them. I put some onions in a skillet with olive oil, and then I cooked my salmon steak in that. And then I boiled the noodles in the meantime. And then I took the noodles and drained them and put them in with the olive oil and onions and let them cook in the skillet for a while. I seasoned it all with salt and some different things. And then I just plated it up, the noodles, and put my salmon steak on top. And y'all, it was delicious. But it was different. I could tell I wasn't eating the same egg noodles that I could have bought at the store. These had a little bit richer taste, and I enjoyed it. I split it in half and ate some for lunch yesterday and some for lunch today. And I think I'm going to love these noodles, and I'm going to keep rebuying them. So that's my testimony to these homemade egg noodles. I really enjoyed them. The next item is something I'm excited to try. I haven't tried it yet, though. I bought a 5 pound box of Fall River wild rice, and they call it broken pieces. If you buy the unbroken pieces, they cost a lot more, so I don't really care. I just wanted to try it, so I bought this. It was $27.72 for this 5 pound box. So I will let you know how I like it or what kind of recipes I make with it at some point maybe. But I just wanted to try it. The nutritional value on this was very good, and it's just some kind of a different item to add. There again, kind of laying in basics so I can cook a lot of different meals with things. I got a 1 pound bag of the coconut sugar crystals. I'm just going to try them. They're supposed to be a 1-to-1 substitute for the cane sugar, but they're supposed to be a little bit healthier and have more organic nutrients in them and vitamins. So we'll see. I'm going to see if I like it. Some of the people that reviewed it on their videos had it in their orders and said they love it. So I'm sure it's good. I'm just going to give it a try. It was $7.27 for a 1 pound bag. I also got a 25 pound bag of the hard white wheat. I had ordered, I guess it was 5 pounds a while back, and I've used it, and I thought it was very good. So I'm trying to lay in as many things as I can in bulk. So I went ahead and reordered up and got a 25 pound bag. It was $36.97. I also ordered a bag of organic brown rice krispies. It just says brown rice on my picture, but there's a little word written in very light print under it that says Krispies. It's basically like your Rice Krispies. This was a 2 pound bag for $12.25, but a lot of people said they make their kids snacks and things out of it. So I would love to try some snacks, maybe some marshmallow bars or things like that. I'm kind of wanting to learn how to make organic marshmallows, which according to a lot of people on YouTube is pretty easy. So I need to get that in my repertoire, I guess I would say, and learn to do that so I can make my grandkids some nice, better snacks to have when they come over here. I have found all the Mirror Glen products from Azure to be really tasteful and good. I really have liked them. I have bought some more of their pasta sauces, and this time I tried the tomato basil. I got the 3 pack. They were $16.30 for 3, but I got 2 of those, so it was $32.60. So I ended up with 6 of the big 23.5 ounce jars of this pasta sauce. I put another 10 pound bag of all-purpose flour on my list just to supplement what I already have. I normally order it in 25 pound bags, but I'm just trying to put a 10 pound bag on each order each month just to kind of keep my supply up. I use the all-purpose flour a lot, especially in bread making. It was $12.71. I also re-upped my 1 gallon, it's 128 ounces, of the lemon verbena dish soap. I use all of the Azure soap now to wash my dishes with. I really like it. A little bit easier on my hands than the things that I used to buy at the store. But and I don't. It doesn't have to be lemon verbena. I've tried all their different scents, and all of them are fine. They even have an unscented if that's the way you want it. But this was $21.92, and I believe that is a full gallon. I always order the organic Azure canola oil, and I usually just go ahead and get a gallon when I order. It was $21.88 for that. My husband also is on a B complex vitamin, and this is 60 caps in here for $22.72. I already have him a little supply of those, but I'm trying to get it where he has enough of these vitamins in stock to last for the rest of the year without me having to reorder. I just thought I would do a little recap at the end of this video to explain why I even order from Azure. It was not something I just jumped on and did the first couple of times I heard it from homesteaders on YouTube videos or anything. I actually resisted it for a long, long time. I got on their website intending to maybe open an account and intending to order a few times. And I wasn't used to really buying in bulk, and I wasn't used to the prices of buying in bulk too much. I've never even been a real big Costco or Sam's person because I couldn't justify in my mind really the bulk prices on my budget. Back in the day when we had the kids at home and ball practices and all that kind of stuff, we just had a certain amount of money a week for food, and I couldn't really justify sometimes spending all of that on just a few items at the store and come home and still feel like I had no groceries for the rest of the week. So I was never one to really jump into the big bulk buying thing. However, I've changed. I'll just be honest with you, I've changed. And it's been really in the last few years that I've started understanding you do have to make an investment sometimes. You do have to prioritize it. You have to prioritize it. And there are situations where you just don't have any extra money. In our situation, I just said, we're going to prioritize it. We're going to have a basis laid in to where I feel secure. I don't want to worship food. I don't want to always feel like this is just taking care of me to have a lot of food. However, with the situations in the world and the situations that have come up in my own personal life, with all of a sudden my husband having a stroke, there went part of our income, almost half of our income gone, because you don't get it all back in Social Security and disability. You don't. So boom, we're in a different income bracket all of a sudden. We've had ice storms where we couldn't get out of our house for a few days. I had food because I had taken the time to lay in supplies. We had the COVID situation happen, and I can tell you, I was not one of those people who put her mask on and just went to the store every day because I was just going to go to the store. I hated it. I absolutely detested the whole atmosphere during COVID. I hated it. I just about cried one day when I went into my local little store out in the country who had kind of resisted all of that, but our state was coming down so hard on all of these businesses that all of a sudden when I went there one day, they had kind of turned into these store Nazis and were monitoring everybody for their mask and stuff. And I just was like, that's it. I'm just not, if I can't go there, I'm not really going to go anymore. And we stayed home a lot, but I had laid in supplies. I had started kind of around 2018, 2019, understanding that I wanted to kind of garden and lay in supplies of things and learn to can. I read a Mother Earth magazine that talked about canning meat, and that's what set me on this journey of canning that I still do to this day. So 2018, 2019, I had already kind of started canning and laying in some things. And then when I felt like COVID was coming, I deliberately went out and kind of, I knew they were going to be shutting everything down. So I went out and laid in supplies. And since then, I've learned, we don't know what's coming at any time, at any point. We just don't know. And we don't know if we want to get out into all that. I don't want to be the kind of person who doesn't forgive and doesn't forget. However, I cannot forgive and I cannot forget how awful the Walmart in our area treated people during COVID. It was very bad. They were like Gestapo at that Walmart that was near my house. And I was a member of Sam's at the time, and Sam's Club in our town was horrid. I tried going during COVID and I never went back because it was like walking in a dystopian, just oppressive atmosphere. I could only compare to probably the communism that went on in East Germany and all that stuff. It's just like it was bad. I didn't like it. And I don't want to be in those situations anymore, to where I'm beholden to have to go out into public and have to go out to these grocery stores when things might come up politically, society-wise, as far as riots or things like that exploded like in 2020 and stuff. I don't want to have to go out because I didn't take the time to lay in supplies and lay in things that we could use to get by on if we needed to. And I'm not even talking here about something like an EMP or anything. That's a whole different ball game. But I'm talking about just having the mentality now at this point in my life to want to build a groundwork as best I can so that I will know if anything happens, I've done the best that I could. I've done the best that I could for Richard and to also have a groundwork of things I could share with my children should something happen. My mom will be living here shortly. Same thing. We will always share whatever we have with my general neighborhood and everything. My neighbors who live by me are so good. And I just want to kind of have this basis of supplies, always kind of restocking on hand, but restocking, using through, not trying to get 25 years out of anything here, using through them, but maintaining a stockpile. To that end, we also keep ourselves as debt-free as possible. We're just almost debt-free now. We did get a car not too long ago, but I tried to get the lowest note I could, and I'm going to pay it off as quick as I can. And that's it. Other than that, we don't have any debt. And I do that specifically. We have made choices. We don't go on vacations. We don't do a whole lot of things because we want to maintain debt-free status if we can, so that we can afford to buy the food we need. We can afford to shop with local farmers. We can afford to shop with meat places around here that sell pork or eggs or whatever, and buy eggs from a neighbor of mine that costs a little more than the store, but I want to have that relationship with my neighbors and all. And we want to be able to do things like that. And one of the bullets in my bullet belt, I guess you would say, is buying from Azure, because I simply don't have the same type of products available to me around here that I can buy in bulk like I can from them, that are accessible to me like they are from them. And that may not always be the case. We don't know the case of shipping and all kind of things that affect our economy. Just, there could be strikes, there could be just anything. You never know what's going to come up. But if you've laid in a supply that could last you, say, a year out or 6 months out or whatever, and you've kind of just reinforced that supply as much as you can. Anytime times are good, anytime there's money in your account, go ahead and reinforce those supplies. Then you can make it through things when they happen. I don't want to make this video go forever, but I wanted to just honestly tell you that's why I choose to buy from Azure, because they offer me something that I need. A place to buy bulk from, a place to buy products that have ingredients that are healthy, that are good for us, that will give us nutrition during a bad time, not just something to put in our mouth and eat, but nutrition to sustain us. They are a family company. I'd rather support them than I would a mega corporation that doesn't treat people great sometimes, especially during bad times like COVID, that really just really put the screws to the public. I would rather not deal with them, to be honest with you. So what I did, I wrote down a few extra points that'll just kind of solidify why I like to buy from Azure. I'm not, as I've said on other videos, I'm not paid by them for anything. I do not get any money to say this. I'm saying this of my own free will. So I like the ease of the ordering process. I can sit here and have a whole month to think about what we might need. As I'm cooking, if I see I'm running out of something, I just grab my phone, I go ahead and order it on Azure, and they keep your order on file all month. You can place it. They say, you can go in there and click the button and say, place the order. at any time during the month. That does not mean you're going to get it shipped to you or anything. That just means you're placing your order saying, yes, I want these items. You can change it. You can change it during that whole month. You can change it. But if you go ahead and place it, that kind of sets your order up. You can apply any of your little Azure cash that you've ordered to your order. Go ahead and get that set up. And then through the month, you can delete things, add things, or whatever, but your order is technically placed. So if you completely forget about it the last day or two and you don't click that button, you've already clicked it. And what you've already put in your basket and all will be your order. I usually don't forget, and I usually stay on my order and tweak it all the way up to the last day. Sometimes there's things I might just want to try, but then later on when I realize that there's a lot of things I really need, and that is maybe putting me to the top of my budget, I'll delete some of those things I just wanted to try and maybe try them later. But if you have a budget, kind of set up a price in your mind, what you want to spend, and then just roll with it. But you can kind of keep that order going a whole month. And to me, that kind of cuts out on a lot of impulse buying like you would have if you just walked in a store and then you bought things because you thought you wanted to try them and stuff, and then you really didn't have time to think about it. I think in the end, Azure kind of saves me money because I can set my own budget. I have a whole month to tweak it and everything. And then when I get those items, they're bulk items, and I might not have to buy them again for a year or more. And that keeps me out of the store. Or when I do go to the store, I'm not going up and down every aisle looking at all kind of things. I'm just kind of going in there to buy some of the things I need, just vegetables and onions and breakfast meats and stuff like that. I'm really not cruising the store like I used to. So I feel like in the end, it's worth it to me. So the ease of the ordering process is one of the main things for me. The second thing I wrote is that I have a safe environment to go pick up my food. For me, for my situation, I have a disabled husband, so a lot of times I'm the one dealing with the carts at the stores. I did a whole video on this explaining kind of my feelings of going to these big stores like a Walmart or even a big grocery store, but especially places like Sam's and Costco and all. I don't like it. I don't want to go there anymore because of the reasons I said of how you were treated during COVID. I don't really want to support those companies too much anymore if I don't have to. And also, it's just, to me, a safety hazard for me trying to deal with getting a big load of groceries out to my car. None of them are really bagged, together. They're just all thrown in your buggy or with maybe in boxes, but those boxes are heavy. And I would be out there alone trying to load them in the back of my car and then take that big cart back to the store. And to me, I feel very vulnerable and not safe when I go to those places. I got a little pushback on that in my video. A lot of people said, oh, that's crazy. I go all the time and I don't have any trouble. That's great. That's wonderful for you. I feel vulnerable. Therefore, I'm not going to do it. That's just the way I feel, and I'm sticking to that. Another thing is I can't help it, but I also have to kind of guard our house. And I always think to myself that a lot of these bulk items are just not going to be very attractive to people that may want to end up trying to take groceries from others. I don't think anybody where I live will know anything about what to do with a wheat berry. I don't think so. I don't think anybody where I live has a grain mill, knows how to make bread from fresh milled flour. I don't think so. I don't see anyone around me that knows anything of what I'm talking about. There are no products like that at the grocery stores around here. I feel like it kind of gives me a little safety to know that a lot of these things I buy are not going to be usable or attractive to other people. And I'm okay with that. I think the same thing about all the food that I process and I can. They're heavy, they're bulky, they'll break. If someone tries to grab too many jars and run out of your house with them or whatever, they're going to break. They're not going to be able to transport them back to wherever they live very easily. I don't think they're very attractive. I think it's going to be a lot of things that are easy to eat that are going to be attractive. I have things canned that I just don't personally think a lot of people are going to want. Like canned beets, wild hog, things like that. I just think those things are safer for us, and they're going to stay around here. I think they would be passed over should anybody try to come in and see what kind of food we have. So I think ordering a lot of these bulk items that are in buckets and they don't look that attractive and they have names like soft white wheat berries and things like that nobody knows what to do with where I live. I think those things in the long run are a good safety item to have. They're just not attractive to people that would want to take your food. I think, like me, you might get scared when you go on Azure and you see the smallest quantity price, and it might be more than what you pay at the store, but then you don't want to dive into the bulk size to get the bulk price. You just have to kind of sit back and make decisions at some point, and you have to decide, is it worth it to you? I have decided in most cases, not all cases, that the bulk prices are worth it to me. I'm starting to understand now what we will eat a lot of, what we like, what I've ordered things I didn't care for once they got here. They sounded nutritious and good, and some people loved them in all the reviews. We just didn't care for it. So some of the grain cereals and things, I like grits. I just like my regular old grits that I've always had. I don't really like some of the textures of some of those other types of fara and different things like that. But that's just me. But the things we do eat, I do feel like the bulk prices are actually less than I pay at the store on some of those items, especially things like spices and the seasoning mixes and all. When you actually know how those items were made and sprayed with things. They were sprayed with things while they were growing. They were to kill weeds. They were sprayed with chemicals to make them dry, like spices get sprayed to make them dry up. Then they're irradiated and all. And then they're put in a pretty jar, all dyed the same color, to give to you at the store. When you understand how some of that is grown and you compare it to the one ingredient paprika or whatever you're getting, from Azure, and nothing's been done to it, it's a world of difference. And I think you'll feel better eating some of that stuff. And even though it's organic, it still comes out cheaper per ounce or per pound than some of the things you're buying at the store that are made horribly without your health in mind. So for us, the bulk prices are worth it on pretty much all the items. There are items like chicken and stuff that do cost more, but I'm willing to pay that for chicken that's air chilled, that has been minimally processed, that the chickens were fed well, raised well. And when I compare it to what I see around here, these chickens going to the mills, I guess you would say. We have chicken processing centers near me, so I'm always getting behind the trucks that are taking the chickens there. And when I see how it all works and how those chickens are transported and what they look like going there, I don't really buy chicken at the store anymore. I just buy it from Azure. To me, it's worth it. You have to weigh all this and see what you think. And the last thing I'm gonna throw out is just I enjoy the sense of community that I have when I go to the Azure drop. It's nice people. We're all kind of like-minded. I learn a lot from them, just listening to what they're talking about, seeing what they're ordering. That's how I've kind of learned about the sea minerals for my garden and other things. We'll all kind of ask each other, do you like that? Or do you like this? Is this something your family eats? And, you get responses that give you a lot of information. And I've even found some family at mine. I've been going for over 2 years to my Azure drop, and just found out recently that some people that I see all the time there are actually kin to me, and we're actually very close kin. We share our great-great-grandfather. I didn't even know that. But I know they're good people, and it's been a joy just being around them for the last few years and just seeing them at the drop. Not really interacting a whole lot, just seeing them at the drop, and then just a chance conversation recently made us go, "Oh, we're kin to each other." So I wouldn't have known that had I not gone to the Azure drop, all this time and been around them and stuff. So I just feel like for me, and it's my situation where I don't get to see a whole lot of people. We're at home a lot. For me, it's a once a month thing that I can do that is gives me a great sense of community. So I usually try to order something every month and go ahead and go to that, because I really do like the people and the whole process. I hope this is a good endorsement that might get you started on Azure. I feel like everybody needs to be working on their pantry and bulking up your supply. Just pretend to yourself all the time, what would I do if we had to stay home for a month? What would I do? And start there. Start with a week. What would we do if we had to stay home for a week for some reason or another? Start there and just start kind of thinking, do I have enough to last? Yes, I do. Okay, well, let's think about a month. Do I have enough for a month? Yes, no, whatever, and go from there. And just kind of build things up until you have some confidence. It helps you have confidence when you have options and choices. And as long as Azure is delivering once a month to our drop, as long as I have internet and I can make an order, as long as I feel that sense of community and I enjoy going, I'm going to keep going. This is Lainey at Hilltop Home Place. I hope this has helped you. I hope this video wasn't too long, but that it helped somebody. And I just appreciate you watching my channel, and thank you so much. And any feedback you want to give me on anything of your experiences with Azure, likes, not likes, whatever, just please feel free to put it in the comments, because I love engaging with people and I love hearing what you think about things. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.